Hey guys, I just wanted to record a really quick video. As promised in the podcast, we talked about rolling in bed, and this is one of the simplest techniques to learn, and it has a really great application at certain times in your life, namely when your back is sore and rolling in bed is painful, post any form of surgery on your back. Perhaps if you've just really got sore legs from some outdoor adventure race and everything hurts when you contract it, and you want to find a way to move that requires the most minimum amount of muscular effort. Or if you've had a hip replacement or a knee replacement, there's lots of times you may want to have a backup plan for your default way of rolling in bed. And this is one to practice when you're not in pain, so that if in the eventuality pain does become part of your life for a short period of time, you've got a backup plan. So best to practice on a firm surface to start with, and then transfer it to the softer mattress. It'll feel different, but if you can get the feel of this idea on firm surface, it'll transfer quite well. So we begin by laying down. Now, when we're laying down, the first thing to notice, when we lay in bed, we tend to have our legs long. So bring them up, because our feet are going to be the driver of this movement. Our mission is to go from laying on our back to laying on our side, to coming up, to flicking the legs over the end of the bed, and we're good to go. But this is really about how to move from being on your back to on your side. So we're going to start with our foot. And if I want to roll to the right, then it's my left foot that's going to be the prime driver. And the movement begins by just simply pressing that left foot down into the ground. And as I do, if I relax everything else in my body and I press my left foot into the ground, it will drive my pelvis to the right, to the direction I'm trying to move my body. So begin the movement by just simply playing with feeling your left foot push your pelvis. Keep it small and gradually make it bigger, depending on what signals your body's giving you. So as I do that left foot push and I begin to roll, this is my limit. At this point, my pelvis is wanting to continue to fall, but there's a big shoulder, a big arm hanging, anchored to the floor against which it's fighting. So as I press my left foot, I'm creating an internal tension or lengthening between my pelvis and my left arm. And I can use that to get a beautiful stretch through my left arm. Or if I, at this point, elevate my arm and bring it over to join my right hand, then my pelvis, my rib cage, and my head can continue to roll onto their side. And then I'm there. And then from there, I simply push my feet off the edge of the bed, lever this elbow, or push with this top hand, and do that movement on my eye. Continue on my eyes, look to my hand as I come up. There's so many ways to play with this movement. Eyes to hand, push. You'll find different ways that work for you. When you reverse the movement, it helps solidify it in your brain. So you could practice now going the other way, using my right foot to push my pelvis, letting my hand move and my head roll, and I'm on my side with very little effort. If I just let both legs fall to the right, again, I'm halfway there, and then I can bring my hand over. But it does feel different if you use the opposite foot to push. There's something about getting the momentum started in the foot that really can drive the whole body effortlessly onto its side in one easy movement. So have a little play and just think about how you get out of bed. This in a really classic way, they tend to have their legs and they sit up. They're sitting up and swing their legs out of bed. That's almost like doing a crunch. So if you're strong, keep using that. You're going to keep your muscles a little bit more active, but that does increase your intra-abdominal pressure, so that if you have a vulnerable disc, which will be feeling a little bit thicker and a little bit more swollen as it hydrates overnight, that first big punch to it of a morning as you go to bed could be the one thing that's setting you up for perpetual pain throughout the day. So be mindful about the procedure you're using, and certainly coming up forward muscular effort and a lot more intra-abdominal pressure. So the side roll avoids all of that. Your spine actually doesn't move. If you keep your pelvis moving at the same rate as your rib cage, then there's no or minimal spinal movement. If you let the pelvis go, but you keep your rib cage pinned, then you're going to be getting a really strong torsion through your back. So it's about getting the timing of the left foot pushing with the hand. If everything comes at once, that whole spinal unit is moving equally at the same rate. So there's no internal side bend, flexion, or rotation. And your spine may appreciate that first thing in the morning. The only other thing I'm going to mention is our head. Most people, when they roll onto their side, lift their head and do a little wriggle. They do it in about 5 steps. The minute we lift a head, we fire the abdominals. So practicing the foot and practicing this head feeling supported and heavy and zero neck muscle activation is what makes it so easy. But for your head to roll to the right, your eyes have got to track to the right. If you try turning your head to the right with your eyes going left, it's really hard, and it kind of messes with our natural reflexes. So hopefully you can have a little play with that movement, and hopefully that is something to add to our discussion in the podcast about rolling in bed.